Hi guys, Agent Lozen here, and today we're doing TMNT 2 for the NES. I'm doing another Let's Play sort of episode. I have a big backlog of videos. Oh, it's a little loud. That I've already done a lot of winning tips and tricks videos I've already covered for games. And I love doing the main video series, but those games, those videos, they take a while to do. I mean, like, well over 10 hours to finish up an episode. So right now, if you've been following my channel for like the last few weeks, I've just been running these games I've already covered in the winning tips and tricks. But when I finish this all up, I'd love to make some new videos. You know, the main series. Yeah. So anyways, let's knock this out. I'm kind of excited to play this. I got this game, the copyright's 1990, and I probably got this game in 1990 when I was really young. I was super excited to play this. Let's just go Leonardo. I like his swords. I feel like I'm a real samurai or something. In retrospect, though, if you've played the arcade version of this game, then this port is like vastly inferior graphically, you know, sound-wise. But all the gameplay is still there. So this game it's pretty repetitive. But once you get the feel for it, it's a lot of fun. Just there's a certain joy to like killing these dudes, even though you're doing it over and over. Maybe it's a little bit more fun with two players. There's a certain value to it though, with the single player mode. I could never get any great distance as a kid. There was always a boss or two that would just shut me down. I'd be done. But I wasn't very conservative with my lives. I got hit a lot. I mean, it only makes sense I couldn't get far. But when I went back to make my winning tips and tricks video about this game a few months ago, I was surprised to find if you played conservatively, played carefully, understood the mechanics right, yeah, you can beat this game without too much trouble. Which is something before I really tried, which is something I just didn't think was possible. Without cheats or like a lot of practice. So my strat for this game, like a lot of other games that take a while to play through, is to get hit as little as you can and be as smart as you can about the game. You can typically always get, Leonardo has like a normal attack that I'm using right now, and it takes like 2 hits to kill most foot soldiers. But you also have a special attack where if you press A and B at the same time, you can swing like this real hard and kill these dudes in 1 hit. It does twice the damage. I think it does 2 points of damage. So anyways, it's a little tricky to get down because it's actually not A and B simultaneously. It's A followed by B like a quarter second later. So if you're trying to hit them both at the same time, you're gonna jump or use a normal attack a lot, but you're not gonna get the attack you want. And I think the same mechanics work in Ninja Turtles 3 if you're gonna play that. That game's a little bit different, but the way you use your special attack is the same thing. So the goal is to just keep hitting these dudes and not let them hit you. You can corner these guys right here. I'm just using a normal attack. I want to get them stuck real good. I mean, you can chase them around the way I'm doing it now, but... You jerk. Now, when they're stuck, they're done. Real easy. So I'm already in the boss room now. The boss will spawn in a second, and I've got most of my health left from the first area. Of course, this is only first level. The foot soldiers, the obstacles and stuff that you face in the game will get gradually more difficult, gradually more complex as you go on. The boss fights are where you're going to lose a lot of health at. You got to be really smart about these guys. And frankly, I think Rocksteady is one of the harder bosses. His charging mechanics and stuff make him more difficult. Just like in Punch-Out, it's a stick and move strategy. I think that's what Doc Lewis tells you to do. Oops. So one of my favorite strats for fighting bosses is to like hit them and then move off of their vertical axis. I think that's the right axis. That is, hit them and then move up or down to like avoid their counterattack. See, the way I usually hit him and he usually counterattacks. And so when I'm predicting that, when I think he's going to do it, we're going to move away. Otherwise, I mean like a really straightforward... You can kill this boss faster if I were to just like walk up and use like my strong attacks, my A and B attacks. But I would end up losing a lot more health. And if I'm really lucky, I can beat this guy without dying once. At the end of the stage, you'll get a full health restore. So if I can just... I'd love to kill this guy without losing a life. Oh crap, I don't know if I'm gonna do it though. He's pretty close though. Got him! Oh yes! That's precisely what I wanted. In this way, I didn't lose my life, and I have a whole extra one. Where, you know, when you're a kid, you just walk right at them, and you just want to attack them with everything you got, but you get beat up so bad that way. For you using weapons like stage weapons, like that manhole cover doesn't give you points. You know, killing foot soldiers with the manhole cover doesn't do that. So although it's only like 1 point I lost there, it's best if you avoid doing it completely. For some reason, this one pole that I was just standing by there, this guy will give you a point. Maybe you get a point from hitting it or something. It's strange. But like the fire hydrant doesn't work that way. Let me see if I can kill someone with this. Oh, hold on. Oh, no! Look, when I hit it, I got the point, which is strange because nothing else works that way. When I hit this guy, see, I don't get any points. But that fire hydrant bullet that came out. That could kill a foot soldier, and it wouldn't grant you any points for it. So, I think every 200 points or so, you get a free life. Which, if you're trying to be conservative, if you're trying not to die, then you'll want every free life you can get. So I mean, it kind of seems trivial that I'm working towards. You know, I'm looking forward towards getting that one free life every 200 points. Which is like every stage and a half or so, maybe 2 stages it takes to get that, accumulate that. But it's worth it. Right, here's a pizza. I'm gonna fight these dudes off. If I take any more damage, I'm gonna grab the pizza then. It's about being conservative. Oops. In 2-player mode, naturally you'd give the pizza to the guy with the lowest health. Yeah, I didn't get hit much. I need to torment this girl. Hold on. Get back! Shoot. You can torment her. There's no benefit to it though. It's a thing you could do in the arcade game, and they wanted it to appear in the NES version of the game, so they got it in there. This game would be really sweet if it was like 4-player compatible with like the 4-score. And I know due to like NES technical limitations, it just can't happen. The NES can only display so many sprites. I've talked about this before. There's so many sprites on the screen simultaneously. So getting like 4 turtles on the screen simultaneously would mean that you couldn't get as many foot soldiers. And it would just be, I mean, like, what can I get here? Maybe 3 or 4 dudes on the screen at the same time? It would just never work having all 4 turtles. But that'd be really cool, though. It'd be neat if, like, the cartridge had, like, I don't know, additional RAM or something. I'm not sure exactly where the bottleneck lies on the NES's hardware that allows for like a sprite limitation. I think it's by the picture processor, which you can't change. Oops. So I don't think there's any real practical way to work in like a 4-player mode. Oops, oh crap. But it would still be cool if you could though. Very cool. Alright, here's the second boss. He's a little easier. For some reason I'm thinking that, and I don't know why. Let's try and get him worked into my fighting pattern. Oh, he's beating the shit out of me. Oh, crap. So I'm gonna hit him and move. Oh, come on. Maybe jump kicks would be better for this guy. Oops. Oh, that's working pretty well. Crap. I'd love to walk out of this stage without losing a life too, but it looks like that's not going to happen at this rate. Unless I figure out what I'm doing wrong right away. No. I don't know, will I get it? Ha! No. I'm not gonna. Alright, well I'm flashing, I'm gonna hit him a couple times. As a matter of fact, now even if I was really careless, I don't think he's gonna kill me again, so I might as well just hit him with my special attacks. I say that, but that's not the way it looks. Got him. Well, I lost a life, but I think I'm doing relatively well right now. It's because I'm not using the original hardware, that's why. If I had a real NES controller, I'd not lose a life there. No, let's out the strategy. Yeah, frankly, I think that Ninja Turtles 3, that came out a year or two later, I think that's the superior game. This game is very, I don't know, is vanilla the right word? It's very plain. Once you've played through the first level, you've honestly seen 80% of what the game has to offer you. And it's just willing to just keep going, doing the same thing. I talked about the strats for killing these guys, for standing here and whacking them as they come out, in my winning tips and tricks video that I'll link in the description. But Ninja Turtles 3, I feel like the level design is a little more clever. The turtles feel a little bit more individual. The gameplay is a little more complex in a welcome way. So I think if you had to play a Turtles beat 'em up on the NES, 3 is honestly probably the better one. I never had 3 as a kid. I played it, but I never owned it. I own it now though. But anyway, if I had to invite someone to play a game just for fun, it'd be Turtles 3. This game is still perfectly good though. Oops. So there's these bars here, which are easy to avoid, and I think there's rockets in the water, which give you points. I think they die in one hit, yeah. And I think there's maybe like 15 of them. A bunch of them will spawn and they'll just kind of stop if you keep hitting them. But if you're trying to grind for lives, you could stand here and at least get a couple extra points. I'm not going to do that though, that's boring. When I've beaten this game in the past, I haven't needed to grind any extra points. So imagine playing 2-player mode right now. What would the other turtle be doing? Just watching the one dude stand at the hole here? Unless you purposely want to let those mousers out to attack you. I just got a life, by the way, at 200 points. Really, the best beat-em-up Turtles game is probably Turtles in Time. I recently played through that again, too. And God, that's a really good game. This boss is pretty easy. He relies solely on the mousers he drops to attack you. And you would think because it looks like he's kind of flying that you couldn't hit him unless you were like jump kicking him. That's not the case. I can use normal attacks and hit him. I can use jump kicks and hit him, which are a little bit harder. But the best approach is to use your special attack that does 2 damage per hit. And just kind of wait for him to kind of float over you and then nail him. Yeah, this guy is super easy. So there's no risk. I mean, well, there's very little risk of losing a life against that boss. Tonight I dine on turtle soup. He's going to eat you if you lose. Give you a little extra incentive, huh? This stage, Scene 3, Let's Melt the Snow and Rebuild New York. This is a non-arcade game. It's an NES exclusive, you could say. Like it kind of feels that way. The arcade game is built in a very consistent fashion. Every stage is basically the same with some new enemies and stuff. But like in this stage, they're pretty heavy with like the unique things, like the snowplow. You see kind of cars in a later stage, but they wanted to get it in here. There are some unique mobs, some unique guys like the Frosty, the Snowman. This guy's a name. It's something weird. But you only see that dude here. You only see, remember the ice blocks at the beginning of the stage were falling on my head? You only see those in this game. I'm sorry, in this stage, not this game. Oh, dear. Right, those are manholes, by the way, if you couldn't tell. I talked about it in the video. Snowball throwing, but there are other foot soldiers that throw things. I don't know. This level, it's just its design and its enemy layout. It feels very unique, and it feels like it belongs solely in the NES version. There's one more stage later, and it's like that also. That is NES exclusive, and it feels very different from the rest of them. Like you can tell it was you know, done after it wasn't planned for the original arcade game. This is another snowplow. As long as you stay on the top of the screen, you're safe. But you need to know when they're coming, though. Of course, like look at this big white open plain, you know, white field. How often do you see big white fields in this stage? I mean, I guess I'm fighting one right now, but when you see them pop up, that means there's a snowplow coming. I think the snowplow is so complicated, its sprite is so big, that they need to like cut down another visual or, you know, other art assets, like this Pizza Hut sign or these bushes. It'd probably like lag or something bad if you tried to display the snowplow with all this other crap. Oh come on, the minor enemies are hurting me worse than the boss is, and the boss would. These Frosties, these snowmen, they feel like, I don't know, they're hard to hit or something. There we go. Yeah, what's going on? Am I not getting them? Am I not doing it? Oh crap, more of these things. I don't think there's a real way to dodge these. Like, even if you saw like a black shadow over you, well, there's no like move to quickly get you out of the range of the ice block. Like, if you were to use the jump kick, you would leap up in the air first and get hit immediately. There's no defense, just hope you don't get hit. This is one of those stages as a kid. Yeah, here's the boss. You can tell by this little globe thing. This is one of the stages as a kid where, like, the boss just does me in. I'm just done with the boss. And if I ever got past it, I'm, like, so happy. Oops. Yeah, don't, It's not advisable to use your power or strong attacks against the bosses. This guy fights a lot like Bebop and Rocksteady. And you can interrupt him. You know, you can interrupt his ice block thing if you hit him. But if you're using jump attacks like I'm doing, like the ice block will hit you sometimes. So I think jump attacks are appropriate for when he's out like walking around trying to punch you. Huh. But it's safer to like use a normal strike. Oh, you jerk. Using a normal strike when he's trying to use the ice blocks, or otherwise a very careful jump attack. See right there? Oh man, I got really close to getting hit. I don't want to risk that. When you're trying to play conservative, it doesn't make sense to take unnecessary risks. Ah, that was a bad idea. Ooh. Crap. Otherwise, yeah, jump attacks are effective against these kinds of guys. Bebop, Rocksteady. There are slower enemies later in. The rock soldier guys, I'll point them out. And it works beautifully well, just, you know, hitting them and then moving your vertical axis. It works really, really well because they're so slow. For Bebop and Rocksteady, they charge around a lot. The Snow Bear guy here, who's like a intergalactic assassin or something, he charges around and he punches, and he's so quick that it's hard to get a consistent pattern in fighting him. What a weird like subchapter. So I guess it's spring now, and I can only go to the stage if it's spring or something. I don't know. Yeah, that level felt out of place. But I think on the actual box art to this game, it's like, hey, this game has extra levels that the arcade game didn't have. But really, I don't know if it's any better off for it. Is anyone's favorite stage in the game the snow level? You know? With the stupid guys, you know, the snowmen that are hard to hit, and gosh, the sword dude, they're dangerous when they jump. I like the music to the stage, though. It's very uplifting, upbeat. It's the, you know, the Turtles theme song, so if you were a big Turtles fan in the early 90s, late 80s, You'd recognize this right away. The color cars, like this guy right here, this big orange car, he'll race out and attack you. And I think you can utterly avoid him if you just walk at the bottom of the screen. Oh, I'm sorry, it's gotta be 2 in a row. That's what I said in my video, right? I don't watch my videos before I do these. I really should be like looking at them and then trying to line up the tricks and talk about them, but I don't remember what the hell I said a couple months ago. These are explosive barrels here. They're fun to attack and blow up, but they can actually hurt you, and it's hard to time having the foot soldiers around them when they blow, so they're kind of impractical to use. You know, to attack foot soldiers. Alright, now this... Yeah, see there's 2 blue cars, you can see the second one. That means I think the first one will charge out. Yep. Yep, there it was. That always scared me as a kid. I didn't know exactly what the tell was, and I was horrified of them. They move so unnaturally. Like stop motion, like horror movie stuff. For a long time, you know, I played this game when I was 5 or 6 or whatever, originally. Here's another car. And I was super excited to play it because I loved the arcade game. And I did. I really played the hell out of it. I didn't realize that the graphics and the presentation was so bad. And I didn't realize what you really lost by losing 4-player mode. I just liked it for what it was, but when I started getting older, especially when I could first play the arcade ROM on my computer in the late 90s, I was like, man, the arcade game is awesome compared to this. This game sucks. And so for maybe 10 years, I kind of labeled this game as just bad, just a bad game, because the arcade game was so much better and they cut out so much when it came to the NES. I felt this game was an insult to the original arcade version. But when I came back to it, I mean, I only, in the last year or two, started collecting old games again. When I came back to it a year or two ago, I realized that by its own merits, when you're not comparing it to anything else, this game stands out just fine. Alright, remember I talked about the pattern of this dude? Jump, and then avoid the top one. This is like a Mega Man boss. Jump, and then avoid the top one. Jump. If this guy beats you up at all, you can grab the pizza. Save the pizza for, you know, getting beat up. Or unless you walk into this fight low on health. This Baxter Stockman, no matter what form he's in, is an easy fight. Yeah, I kind of feel like I applied similar logic to, you know, Mega Man bosses when I played that last week. At this point, it's trivial. But I'm happy to see a boss that's not going to kill me too much. I'm going to save up as many lives and continues as I can for the final level. Oops. Are you happy now? Ah, you jerk. Down. I'm gonna get a kiss. This is my favorite part. Get ready, guys. I owe you one. But like I said in my winning tips and tricks video, like, does Leonardo think that's gross? It's like being licked by a dog or an animal. Like, you don't want to get a disease, so you try and wipe it off as fast as you can. Like, if this was like a dude, like if I was playing a ROM hack of this game, and you were like the hero dude, and I was buff and like really creepery, I'd enjoy that, you know? But like, as a turtle, I don't know, it's just... I don't think the turtles have any like romantic views of April. They don't see her as... Oh, dear. They don't have a crush on her or anything. Wouldn't it be neat if there were love interests, though, for the turtles? Like the female Ninja Turtles? I don't know. But really, when you think about it, like, unless the turtles are down with, like, I don't know, falling in love with other races, other animals, not even races, but like, yeah, completely different animals. They're never gonna like have that, you know, fulfillment of, you know, having, you know, finding love and things like that. Like, imagine if you were the only, like, you and like 2 other dudes were like the only humans in the whole world. And the whole world is populated by, I don't know, dogs and cats and stuff. Well, you know, I mean, you know, they're bipedal now and they're pretty tall like humans, so, you know, they could fall in love with April, right? But imagine if, like, oh, you know, it's just me and 2 other dudes, and I'm not gonna, like, screw the dudes. So, am I gonna settle for, like, a dog? Am I gonna fall in love and marry a dog, you know? Like, no way. But biologically, we're wired. Now, I think the turtles, they're probably like this, too. They're wired to want to, like, you know, get it on. Reproduce. So I don't know, that's kind of sad. Like, oh, these guys. In the show, in the movies, they're perfectly content and happy to just be eating pizza all day, living with their rat master. They have, you know, a perfectly good life, right? But they don't really address this. This is a good grinding spot if you're down for that. These guys will just keep spawning over and over and over. You can stand here, jump over them, and hit them from behind. And it's very safe. As a matter of fact, I could do this with like another 18 guys and get another life off this. And actually, as a kid, you know, I recognized this, like, you know, back in 1991, 92, I recognized you could do this, despite being really young. And so I would literally sit here, and like, if I was down to like 0 lives, I'd grind up like 2 or 3 of them. I'd sit here for a half hour, just wait for another guy to come, and I wonder if there's a faster way if I could hit both of these guys. Maybe if I just jump over him. Yeah, that's not bad. Jump, hit, jump. Maybe I don't need to jump. Look at that. It's faster now. Oh dear, now I'm getting hit now. I don't think there's any way to like hit him or to kill him from right on. Anyway, that's enough of that. This is stupid. I just wanted to show you how smart I was as a kid, figuring that out. And how dumb I was to sit there for like a half hour and grind out a bunch of extra lives. Ideally, your game is well designed if you don't need to sit in any one spot and grind for a long time. And I think that even applies to RPGs. RPGs like, you know, JRPGs from, you know, from the 80s and 90s. People typically associate like standing in one place and walking back and forth for a half hour at a time getting the necessary levels. But you've designed your game well if you don't need to do that. These guys have weapons, I'm kind of afraid of them, so I'd normally try and just take them out. Maybe I should do that. I'll be okay. I don't want to get hit though. But yeah, your game is well designed if you don't need to stand in one place and grind over and over and over again. Like if the enemies that you fight during the stage are enough to keep your level in a, you know, an adequate place, then that's good game design. So likewise, I feel like I shouldn't be... It's a waste of time to sit here and grind out lives and stuff. If I'm given an adequate amount of life and an adequate number of continues, that should be all I need. I'd hate to have to watch this, like, from a viewer's perspective. I'd hate to watch this video. It was just some dude, like, killing foot soldiers for a half hour at a time. That wouldn't be fun. Alright, these guys. How many hit points do they have? Is there a trick to beating them? I think if you get behind them, there's nothing they can do. 6, 8, 10 hit points maybe? So 5 good power slashes. I'll let him creep up a little bit. And I'll hit him, and then 1. So that's 3, 5, 7, 9... Oh, maybe it's only like 9 hit points. The jump kick is only 1 hit point damage, and the special attack is 2. I think that's how it goes. I didn't have to fight a boss last round, and I'm really happy because I was really low on health. Stop. Alright, here's another dude. Let's try it again. So let him creep up. Jump. Oh crap, it didn't work. So there's 2 damage, 4 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage. Is it only 8 hit points? I don't think that last hit went through. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. At 7, he's clearly still alive. And then at 8, he blows up. 8 hit points. Another stage without a boss. This stage is a lot different too, because you're riding like the little jet-powered skateboard. It feels like it has a lot of energy, because it feels like you're moving fast. I mean, really, the design is no different than anything else in this game, but it's fun. Good for a change. So the turtle van crashed. I don't know who the hell was driving it. We weren't in any like danger. And I took Master Splinter. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I feel like I'd rather be playing Ninja Turtles 4 for SNES right now. That game had a lot of energy, it was very fast. A lot of fun. Excellent soundtrack, excellent presentation. They did a good job making it look arcade-like. And I think the cartridge is only like 1 megabyte. It's really tiny. I think the arcade game is maybe 4 megs. So they were able to condense something very, very faithful into just a few, like into just 1 megabyte, a quarter of the size. It's been a long time since I played the Hyperstone Heist, the Genesis version of Turtles 4. Oh, you pricks. Stop! My greatest rivals, right here. More than any other boss. I think Hyperstone Heist is, like I said, supposed to just be like Turtles 4 for Genesis. But I'm under the impression it's not as good for some reason, but it's been so long since I played that game, I don't remember why. I don't have a Genesis or anything. That'd be a game I'd like to buy. But prices are so inflated right now. I need to get like an EverDrive and just throw the ROM on there. You know, speaking of prices, naturally, I don't have like tons and tons of disposable income. So when I buy games, you need to do a little bit of research, check various sources, get a feel for what the average price is. And if you see, if you see a game for, you know, like a good 20% less than one source than like the average price, then it usually means if you want it, go for it then. But I was doing a little bit of research. It's like what the most, you know, expensive SNES games were recently, and I found an article from 2009, and it's like, yeah, these prices, they're insane for like Mega Man X3 and Castlevania Dracula X. You have to pay more than what they sold the game for originally back in the 90s. I'm like, well, what does that mean? They're like, yeah, Dracula X, it's gonna cost you, if you want it nowadays, like 65 bucks. Imagine that, 65 bucks, so expensive. And like nowadays, if you search out some of these games, they're like 200 on eBay. So I think there was like a golden era. There was a time that made the most sense to get these games, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. It's 2016 right now. If by chance you're watching this in 5 years. Some old ass video on YouTube. These guys. But yeah, there was a time to buy SNES games. There was a time to buy like old school games when eBay was easily accessible, when it still had a lot of stuff on it, when Amazon still sold. You know, Amazon was like just a book site like 15 years ago. But Amazon in its current form, it sells like all kinds of stuff. And it was like that 5 years ago. It was like that 6 years ago. So there was an ideal time to buy these games, and it is not 2015. It's not 2016. Even some NES games like Mega Man 1, Mega Man 5, and there are several others that are roughly $100. Did Mega Man 1 and 5 just not sell well? Were there only like a few copies of that game out there in the 90s? I don't think that's true at all. I watched a video about a week ago, and oh, no. You know, I think there's a pizza thing coming up. Please don't die here. Please don't die. I forget which video it was, but a YouTube author, here it is, said that he suspects that people know what they have more nowadays in terms of, you know, if you have a classic game in your basement. You're not so naive to sell like, you know, $100 game for, you know, $2 at a garage sale anymore. And so when you check it out on eBay, when you go to Amazon and look for this game you have, and it's like, oh, $50. Why would you want to sell it for $10? You know, make a killing off it. If you have a collection of somewhat rare games, Christ, you could walk away with $300 or $400. And you hear all the time, like, oh, I bought this painting at a yard sale, and the painting was secretly worth, it was an old Rembrandt, it's worth $10,000. And the original owner didn't know. And everybody's heard a story like that. You know, on the internet, on, you know, Yahoo News, there's, you know, oh, I sold a coin, and I later read that it was worth $5,000. I should have been more careful. Everyone knows a story like that. Everyone knows to check for that kind of stuff nowadays. If anything seems even remotely like valuable. Anyway, this is one of those bosses I was talking about earlier when I was fighting Snowbear in stage 3. And I said, yeah, there are some bosses later in, like the rock dudes. That's my phone. Ignore that. Who are very slow. Like, this dude predictably moves very slowly, I mean, he attacks a lot, he attacks hard, you lose a lot of life when he hits you. But you can employ the strategy of hit and move, like I'm doing right now, and it works very well because he's so predictable. See, if you walk into this just like charging him right on, he's got so many hit points. It's actually taking me a while to kill this guy. He's not even blinking yet. So, you know, if you were to keep charging and keep hitting him, you know, just charging, you're going to lose so many lives. It's going to be a massacre. You're going to lose everything that you've built up. He's only just now blinking. And I don't think I'm going really slow. I'm only using normal attacks, but I'm hitting him pretty frequently. But with this strategy, you're not going to lose. I'm going to check my phone. It's nothing. With this strategy, you can beat these guys who would otherwise suck lots of lives out of you with little punishment. You know, I haven't used to continue yet. I think a lot of people, if they don't know what they're doing walking into this, you're basically done with the game by now in terms of lives. Here's another stage that was exclusive to the NES. And what's that going to mean? It's going to mean a lot of weird obstacles. It's going to mean a lot of weird original enemies. And it's going to mean a lot of enemies that suck the life out of you really fast when you don't know what you're doing. So far, no, see, here's a new dude. And he leaps around and he throws these blades. Like, I mean, he's so much more aggressive than, like the foot soldiers you normally see. Like, how many enemies in this game, like, jump around and throw knives at you and stuff? And they're not just, like, straight lines. They actually, like, kind of home in on you. You need to move if you see it coming at you. They're so dangerous. So many hit points. That's why I really don't enjoy playing these you know, NES exclusive stages. I mean, I kind of like the theme to the level. It's very Japanesey. I feel like I'm in a dojo. Although I'm apparently in a building, you can see out these windows. I'm just like in some like tall building, and somebody decided to devote an entire floor to like old Japanesey stuff. It's just that the enemies, they're gonna drain you. They're really gonna drain you. Although I'm close to another life now. Yeah, it's fun seeing the foot soldiers burst out of the floor and stuff. That's kind of unique. Here's a candle. You can use it as a weapon. Did I get a point for that? I wasn't watching. For hitting the candle. There we are, 3 lives. Has there been any point in this game where I've had 3 lives so far? I don't think so. There's one enemy. Actually, there are 2 more different enemies we haven't seen yet in this stage that are coming up. Oh, this part sucks. I think these things are kind of random. Just keep jumping, I guess. Yeah, here it is. These tigers, these guys suck. When you don't know how to fight them, oh, they suck really, really bad. I think fighting them straight on is the best way to do it. See, he hit me twice, just running by. Whoops. I think, yeah, hit him straight on, just attack. He'll, every time you attack him, it gives him another chance to like leap at you. But if you walk into him, you can like hit him as he's about to leap. You see what I mean? Like now he's gonna leap again. But if you're walking at him, then he doesn't really have a chance to. So I don't know if, yeah, I don't think a special attack's gonna work well. I'm gonna take more damage than I'm gonna give with special attacks. So we're gonna take it real safe with those guys. Just use normal swipes and walk at them as they're attacking you. But like any other angle you attack these guys from, they hit you, they really suck. And again, I just got hit twice there in one pass. Oops. Oh Christ, what am I doing? Okay, get the pattern again. 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I'm gonna lose a life. I need to find a heal. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have so many hit points. 5, 6. Like you thought those helicopters were bad earlier? These guys have lots and lots of hit points. Now these scorpions are the worst. I hate these guys. Like hitting them, the hit opportunity that you have for them is so weird. Sometimes I feel like you hit them, you know, when you're attacking them. Other times I feel like you should have hit them and it doesn't count. And then usually they're just shooting at you with these like little blaster guns and stuff. These guys are super annoying. Like I lose so much so much. I lose so many lives fighting these dudes. And I don't know, is there a good strat? I mean, I'm just trying to play conservatively and use my jump kicks. But is there really a good strat for like not getting hit or minimizing your health loss on these guys? I mean, if there is, I don't know it. Damn you. Oh, I hate these guys. Honestly, these are the worst guys in the normal enemies in the entire game. They're destroying me. Why are there so many? See, I should have hit him right there. I feel like. Yeah, their hitboxes are weird. They're maybe moving up and down like this is the key. I was trying to use like a boss strat by staying off their access. And here are more of these guys. You know, I'd rather fight these dudes though with their annoying knives. Ugh. Than those dumb scorpions. It kind of seems like if you can corner them. I don't know. I don't like the stage at all. Just the whole stage sucks. The enemies suck. I'd love to get a pizza before I fought the boss. I think there is a pizza at the boss. So if I can just hold out. I mean, these foot soldiers aren't going to kill me, I hope. That'd be embarrassing if they did. Just hold out a little bit longer. Please, no more scorpions. Please, please, please. Just play conservatively. Like a good Republican. Ah, here it is. If I get down to 1 health bar, or 1 like little health nub, I'll grab it. But I don't want to lose. Shoot, no, it's happening, it's happening. Please don't kill me, please. Oh, yes. Alright, here's the boss. He works very similarly to, like the stone dudes. He's pretty slow, pretty predictable. But, I mean, just like everything else about these stages, maybe jump kicks are better for him. He has a special thing he does that no one else does, where his head comes off after maybe like a quarter of the way into the fight, and the head is actually pretty dangerous. Now I'd love to not lose any lives against this dude. Maybe it's asking. No, it's getting better. I'm doing better. He's pretty quick on his feet. His actual movement speed is pretty quick. Like without charging or anything. And that stupid head. You know, it reminds me of Link to the... Wow, I just lost like three nubs right there. Yeah, there's another one. I'm not going to walk out of here without dying. Let's just finish him off. There's a... like I was saying, I get distracted easily. Maybe you haven't noticed. Wow, just attacking right on is terrible. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, in the Dark World, the dungeon with the maiden you find, and she turns into like the monster. You jerk. That boss, its head also detaches and attacks you separately from the body. Oh, he was a robot all along. So this dude that I just fought reminds me of them, if you know what I'm talking about. You can be like, yeah, that is how it is. Alright, we're 45 minutes in, and this is the last level. As a kid, without Game Genie, I would not see this level. It was just not happening. And look at me now. I mean, I haven't used to continue yet. So like I still have tons of lives left in stock. And I think you get like a continued checkpoint if you make it to the boss. Well, I mean that is you do like a final boss fight where there are like 3 bosses in a row. Once you get by like the first one, then your continue point will start at the second one immediately. I don't want to spoil who the boss of this place is, so I'm being vague on purpose. See if I can just make it to that second boss out of the 3. I mean, then you can die all you want to. I like how they move in single file out of those doors. You look for, in a game it's repetitive. It really is repetitive. You look for any little things that are different, that stand out. Like these guys are kind of cool, huh? They freeze you. This is not desirable. But it's cool. It's a unique thing being froze. How many enemies in the game freeze you? Even though it's bad for me getting hit, losing life is bad for me. It's always fun to see new things pop up in a game that's really repetitive. Ugh. Really, this stage should be like full force, the most aggressive stuff in the game. And it sort of is. I don't know, but like when I think back to that ninja stage a second ago, like a samurai Japani stage. I don't know. I think that stage is harder. How much life have I lost so far? Maybe 3 or 4 little notches. But in that stage, when I got to the scorpions, I lost like an entire life. Oh dear. And these guys are fun to watch too, or fun to see because again they're unique also. They're easy to fight. You just jump past them, jump out of their attack range, get behind them, take them out. These gun dudes are really aggressive. But again, they're manageable, because they die quickly and they're fairly predictable in the way they move. But in the ninja stage a second ago, if you don't know how to fight those tigers, that's another dude that's going to take a bunch of lives out of you. All right, these guys are way more dangerous than I give them credit for. I'm just going to jump kick them. But even when you jump kick them, if you don't hit them at the right angle, they still hit you. All I gotta do is reach that second boss, so. And the first boss you find, he's another like slow dude who's really predictable. I think it takes a while to beat him, but when you do, or when you get to him, it's just a matter of not getting hit for 5 minutes while you gradually wear his health away. I think we saw these lasers before. Oh man, in a previous stage. Oh, I broke one. Hey, look, it leaves like a broken thing behind. Guys, it's so cool. Listen, I was playing this game the other day, and there's a freezy thing, and when you hit him, it leaves a thing behind. How lame. This part, you could probably just literally stand in one spot. When the ball kind of like lines up with you, jump over it. This is neat though, it's an elevator with bowling balls rolling down it. Oh god, I need this pizza really bad. What a relief. I think maybe like the guns just make these guys overconfident, and so like they're like, oh, I'm gonna attack at full power, because they're really aggressive, they really are. But I mean, if you had a gun, I mean, I'd be more than happy to take on Ninja Turtle, right? And that's like a World War II Thompson gun, like a Tommy gun. Look at that thing. I mean, they didn't just give them pistols, did they? They must have gotten those in America, where you can get any gun you want. Remember this trap from earlier? Corner him. Ah, you jerk. Real easy that way. I want him to get right here. Come on. He should be low. Good. What other arbitrary topics can I come up with? Maybe something related. Oh, do you guys like Ninja Turtles 3, the movie? I don't. That was bad. What other sort of related things can I say? Hey, what do you guys think about robots? They're cool, huh? What if you made ninja robots? That'd be a future thing. I've got nothing. I would never watch just like a video of this game, like a walkthrough of this game, a run-through that is, without commentary. It's such a repetitive game. And you know what? I'm not saying this game is bad. I'm having fun fighting these guys, but just to watch it, I don't know. So here's the boss. Here's the first boss. He's another rock dude. This would be miserable to just watch without any extra stimulation, anything to think about. Ugh, he's more aggressive, it seems, than his last level counterpart. I think I'm gonna let him walk into me. That's the trick. Move up I'll attack, move up a step. If he walks into me, good. Like, getting aggressive at all, like, bringing the fight to him is a bad idea. Yeah, here we go. I'm getting the feel for it. So I just stand still, and when my attack lands, move immediately. And you know, even if you were to kill me once, that wouldn't be terrible. I still have my 0 life or whatever. I've got 1 life left in stock, and I've got all these continues still. I don't think I'm gonna be able to beat the game without using a continue, but I'm so close right now it doesn't even matter. I'd be happy to getting a single game over. I think, what do they give you, 3 continues or so? Oh, there's 1 life down. That's fine. Honestly, it's fine. These dudes, I think their hitboxes are so big that if you were to like use your special attack, occasionally you can get like 2 hits in per swipe. And if it's your special attack, that does 2 damage anyway, so occasionally you can get like 4 damage per attack. But the thing is you risk getting hit, which isn't a good way to play this game. You need all the health, all the lives you can get. See, it's a little slower this way, but at least I'm gonna make it to the boss, to the final boss. At least I'm gonna beat the game. He's not hard, he just has so many hit points it takes a while. And if your strategy isn't right on, if it's not spot on, he's gonna kill you. He killed me, Alright, now here are the final 2 bosses. If you use a continue, you start right here. Gosh, I think Krang works a little differently. What was my strat? I don't remember. Let me see. Let me just try using normal, like, moving, stick and move. That kind of works. His kicks are still kind of getting me, though. His kicks feel like they have a larger, like, attack box. I feel like I did something when I beat this game a little while ago. I did something differently. I've been all game saying, oh, if you just stick and move, if you keep attack and then move, that's the best way. But for some reason, I'm thinking that that's not going to work against this guy. What is it? What do I do? These jump kicks are getting me beat up. No, here's my continue right here. I like the little rainbow effect going on. Yeah, 3 continues. I've got more than enough juice to beat this dude. But what is it that I normally use against this guy? What's the tactic? I don't remember it, and we need to find out. I'm gonna say special attacking makes you too vulnerable. Maybe it's attacking him or landing a kick attack and then leaping away immediately. I don't know. Gosh, you see, I've already lost like half a life. All right, I'm gonna say kick attacks. It's not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just like a stick and move. I mean, I'm not gonna brute force rush him. That's for sure. His kick is dangerous, though. Now, if I were to use another continuum, even if I beat this dude, you don't start at the final boss immediately. You need to beat him again. So one way or another, you need a good strat for beating this guy. Yeah, it seems like my normal just stick and move is working. I don't know what I was thinking. I feel like I found something, and it would be something even worth mentioning. It's not jump kicks, clearly. He's beating the hell out of me when I jump kick him. Maybe if I had an original NES controller with me right now for my PC, I'd figure it out then. That's what it takes. And if I had a CRT, yeah. That's my favorite thing to say. Damn it, see, even now, I think it's because his kick is so fast. What's making this not work well? I don't even know. Yeah, like when those rock dudes hit you, I mean, I'm sorry, when they walk in you and try and hit you, their attacks I feel like are maybe slower, or they have like a smaller attack box. Whatever it is, like this strat works beautifully against those dudes. A Krang here? Like maybe, I don't know, a third of the time he hits me, which isn't good. I mean, I have a very finite amount of health. I have a very finite number of lives. Ugh. I don't know what to do. That's interesting. He's another guy with a really big attack, like hitbox. And so you can hit him twice with a special attack. But I don't know if it's worth it, because I'm getting hit a lot too. He's blinking. But look at me, I'm down to my final life already. I mean, I've got more continues to like continue to like test with this guy to think of things. Oh gosh, I've got half a life left. Let's see if I can beat the final boss. Now the final boss I think I've got a strat for. Let's test it out. He's literally invincible. I think that's what he's trying to tell us. I can't hit him. Oh, it's the Shredder. Who saw it coming? Alright, now this guy I think is very vulnerable to jump kicks. His attacks, you know, this guy, Shredder, he's built, interestingly, all his mechanics are built in a way that he could be like a turtle. Now, what I mean by that is like, he has like a normal slash, he has like a strong slash, he's got jump kicks, I think. I mean, naturally, like, if you were to play as this dude, it would be imbalanced to let him, like, you know, break into two dudes the way he does. But I think with, like, a good ROM hack, he's got all the animations he needs. Actually, I don't know if he does jump kicks. He's got all the animations he needs to be, like, a playable character. Like, other bosses are so big. Imagine, like you play as a oh, never mind. The clones, they don't have any special attacks. But the real Shredder can like use like a mutagen gun and like insta-kill you. No, but imagine playing like with a partner and like one person's a turtle and the other person's like this massive bebop guy. Oh, there's the insta-kill. Watch, here's what I mean by insta-kill. Dead. I goofed that up really bad. Anyway, Shredder could very feasibly be a playable character. I mean, with a little bit of coding, right? Alright, let's try this again. What's the strat? Brute force? Huh? No, you just get kicked. If I could land outside of the kick's range. Those eye lasers are dangerous to me too. Maybe just like a well placed jump kick? If I was just never in the range of the kick, right? Right? Isn't that how it goes? Maybe if I like attack him in the shoulder, like when I'm aligned with his shoulder, is this working? I mean, I just got kicked there. Got kicked there. Got kicked there. Never mind. Maybe it's not working. Yeah, I got a lot of hits on him. And just the second, the instant, oh man, I land, I gotta get out of there. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Actually, this is sort of working a little, but like, you know, my stick and move that I normally use, that sort of works a little too. It's his kick. I wonder if there's a way to break his legs off. Ugh. I don't know what to do about it. Maybe if I attack when I'm like... I need to spend the least amount of time in his attack zone as I can. What's the best way to accomplish that and still hit him? Damn. I swear, when I was playing this game, when I bought it a few months ago, yeah, maybe a year ago, I'm like, oh yeah, that works really well, I should tell everyone about this. If I ever make a YouTube series of videos. And now, gosh, I don't know. Okay, well anyway, we're back to Shredder again. I'm not so concerned about the actual amount of life I have. Yeah, I've got more than I did last time. I had like a half a life left before. It's his mutagen gun that I'm really concerned with. That's the thing that kills me. His clones, I should talk more about Shredder's mechanics. His clones, I think, have like a fraction, a percentage of Shredder's remaining life. So like, as Shredder takes more damage, every clone he produces will have less and less life. No. So like, what that means is that I'm gonna get to a point where like in like 1 or 2 hits they're gonna die, and that's when you know that he's about ready to die. And then Shredder himself will eventually lose his helmet too. And when he's really low on health, and I think he'll stop producing clones at that point. No. See, I don't lose much life, but if you eat that insta-kill, then you're done. So whenever I see either of them kind of backing off the way they do, I get really nervous. But this is the strat, just jump kicks. Just keep jump kicking him. Because his attack is so slow to respond to you, that like you can always get out of there before he uses it. Now the clones are down pretty quick. And really, besides his insta-kill, he doesn't do that much damage. He doesn't have a ton of hit points. Shredder's not hard to fight. No, I don't know if that's the real one or not. The fake one can't use special attacks, I think I said that earlier. Like he can't use up mutagen blasts or whatever. I know, like, strats online, they're like, oh, look for the one without the helmet, and then only attack the one without the helmet, and that's the way to beat him. But frankly, I don't care who the hell I hit. If I hit the clone or the original Shredder, it don't matter to me. As long as I keep hitting them. See, my strat works. I'm not dying. I mean, I'm actually taking a lot of hits. But, I'm doing fairly well. There it is. Now, I'm pretty sure he can't use his mutagen gun anymore. It's just a matter of finishing him off. Done! That is Ninja Turtles 2 on the NES. I feel like I did really well for the whole game. I mean, I got right to Krang without a single continue. But Krang is quite possibly the hardest boss in the game. Is there a better strat to beat that guy? Post your better strat in the comment section below. I don't know. Because you're getting hit way too much when you're fighting them, and I can't. I mean, jump kicks or stick and moves or brute force, no matter what approach you use on him, he kicks the hell out of you. So here's kind of the ending credits. The blimp is like a progress bar, interestingly. So like the ending credits will be done when it reaches like the left side of the screen, and you get to see like little pictures of the turtles. It's neat. Yeah. Good multiplayer game for the NES, and even single player. I don't mind playing through it like I just did. It's not as fun as like Mega Man 4 or Crystallis or anything. I don't hold it in that high regard. And once again, here's another game with like, I don't know, a dozen people on its staff, 15 people. Main programmer, like one dude. Oh yeah, sub-programmer, the guy that got him coffee. Who is it? One dude. Character design. So here's an artist. Maybe he does like pixel work too. One guy. Any modern game, the credits go on and on and on. Hey, we'd like to thank the team from out of Denmark. All 100 guys on their team. They made this 1 5-second clip of the game feasible. I'd like to thank our primary logic programming team, our primary physics programming team out of California. All 50 of their guys made our physics possible in this one scene. I'd like to thank our artwork team from Canada. All 100 of their guys did the textures. From Japan, our localization team, all 50 voice actors. We had a 50 voice actor team. From Germany, their voice acting team, all 50 voice actors. It's insane nowadays. But back, I mean, you can produce a full, I mean, you can still play these games nowadays. They're still good nowadays. Oh, it's the Shredder. There's going to be a sequel, guys. He's still alive. I didn't kill him after all. Okay, anyway, I've done enough ranting. It's a pretty fun game. Not for everybody. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Oh, wait, I pressed the wrong button, sorry. Okay, bye for real.